I mean, we won, but I'm not happy. This was an absolutely disgusting performance. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 performance. We were absolutely disgusting. Yes, we won in the end. Yes, we showed good resolve, to get back into the game. But I'm sorry. The fact that you went 2-0 down within 20 minutes against Monaco. Monaco! A team that's 8th in Ligue 1 currently. A team that was, one of the lowest scoring teams that was qualified, obviously, through in the playoffs and whatnot. In the group phase or league phase or whatever you want to call it, the Champions League. And you conceded twice in 20 minutes. They got 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬𝘾. We won in the end, yes, but low-key, this feels like a loss. This feels like a loss, and I am not going to go and be content with this performance. This was absolutely disgusting of a performance. Disgusting. PSG 3, Monaco 2. And honestly, first and foremost, shout out to Monaco. Why did I shout out to Monaco? Shout out to Monaco. I said all of that, but in fairness, they've been in pretty decent form as of late, and so you got to give it to Caesars what is Caesars. But from PSG's perspective, I'm sorry. Absolutely woeful, absolutely disgusting from our part. Disgusting. That first half was the worst 25 minutes of PSG this entire season, potentially even last season. We were absolutely dreadful. You know what that reminded? It reminded me of the game against Chelsea. And at least against Chelsea, I remember Doué had that one chance, or was it Hakimi or whatnot, we tried to square it. We had chances at the beginning. This game, from the first minute we conceded. 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬𝘾𝙖𝙎 les gars. In the first minute of the game, you go and you look here, Balogun scored in the very first minute of the game. 1 minute in. Les gars, when I go and I say, I think we've turned into... I'm not sure. I think PSG right now, we're going band for band with Barca for who has the worst defense. We're going band for band, bar for bar with Barcelona, Football Club Barcelona, to see who's got the worst defense. Now, because explain to me, why is it that on every single one of Monaco's attacks, basically every single one, they looked like they were going to go and score. Balogun today had 2 shots, 2 goals. 2 shots, 2 goals. The first one, I've gone and looked at it. I think it's on Marquis. Why are you pressing? And it's a thing that our defenders have had a habit of having. And I think a lot of it is similar to Barca. One of the things that made both Barcelona and PSG excellent last season is the fact that the press from both teams was immaculate. The press made it such that both teams won the ball extremely high up the pitch, which meant that teams did not have the chance to go turn around and play balls in behind. The problem now is that we're always second best to every single ball. Marquinhos is trying to press the midfielder, even though it's supposed to be, the midfielder's job to go and do. He gets drawn out of position. They play a ball. Patra then has to cover him. Because Patra's covering him, Nuno Mendes now has to slide over. And because Nuno Mendes is sliding over, there's 2 people left on the back post free, and they got an open free header for Balogun. 1-0. Second ball, same thing. Stepping up, doing who knows what. Ball in, bish, bash, bosh, high line, bam, they're through on goal, 2-0. Like today, it's not even like, I think today also, you could argue that, I can't even go and say, we can't even go and say we were wasteful in front of a goal necessarily. Obviously, bar the penalty missing, we'll get on to that. Today, PSG you're away from when we scored 3 goals. That's pretty good. I can't go and say offensively, it wasn't the offense. Today, it was the defense. In previous games, I can go and say defensively, we've been solid, we've been good. But offensively, we were not doing it. Today, it's the opposite. Today, offensively, we were fine. We were creating chances. We were getting balls on net. We scored goals. But defensively, we were a liability. Today, this game, I think, is on the defense. And yes, again, people are going to say, yes. Again, I don't like going and using this thing of context, because ultimately people go and say, yes, PSG historically have not been really good against Monaco. To go and prove that, if we're going to look at the head-to-head matches between PSG and Monaco, so obviously we lost against Monaco this year in November. We also... last time we beat them was when we beat them last year with in the league, and we drew to them. March, this was Mbappe's last game against Monaco. Then we got smacked 3-1. This was a game, I believe, after or in between the Bayern legs. Then we got completely smacked by Monaco here. And then you have to go back to November of 2021. May rather of 2021 for the last time we won. Again, this was in the Coupe de France, but even again in the league, 3-2. Historically, Monaco is a place that PSG do not do well in. That being said, though, it's Monaco and we're PSG. And this is the Champions League, les gars, je suis désolé. Monaco it's not like we're coming up against a prime 2017 Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, Falcao Monaco. No, you're coming up against a Monaco that is 8th in Ligue 1, somehow managed to go and get through to the Champions League. And yes, they've found a bit of form recently, but overall, this is not the craziest Monaco team out there, and you're struggling against them. Or at the very least, I wouldn't say struggle or you're giving them an opportunity. And even still, even though PSG ended up going and winning, it's still only a 1-goal lead. If we go to Paris and they score early on, we're all even Stevens. Like, this is what I go and mean. So that's why I'm going and saying, if this game had stayed 11v11, for example, we gotten the win, I'd go and say, okay, fair enough. I would still be very disappointed, but I'd go and say, okay, fine. Not only did PSG only barely eke out a win, we did it whilst playing basically, what am I saying basically? The entirety of the second half, a man up. 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙏 got a red card. 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼𝑍 got a red card in the 48th minute. And there were 4 minutes of that time. So we played a full 45 minutes plus, a man up, and we only managed to score a measly 1 goal in the 67th minute of play. Yes, I know they played some disgusting, terrorism, haram ball, everybody defending, parking the bus, but what do you expect Monaco to go and do? If you're down 1-0 against the reigning European champions, the reigning Ligue 1 champions, the reigning Coupe de France champions, the best team last year in the world, and you're a man down, what the heck are you going to go and do? Like, every team would go and do that. Every single team in world football would go and do the exact same thing. So I can't blame them on that. But still, you're still struggling. And honestly, yes, of course, it's difficult to break down these really deep low blocks. But ultimately, we didn't make it easier on ourselves because we were playing at a snail's pace. Buddy, put my grandma in there, nothing would have changed. The ball was not zipping around like it normally would. It was slow. There was no movement. There was no third man runs. Everything was slow and lethargic. And the one time we did step up the tempo a bit, bish, bash, bosh, bingo, all of a sudden we score. Who would have thought? Who would have thought when you put some intensity, when you put some speed of play into your game, you score. 𝙎𝙬𝙖𝙞𝙬. This is embarrassing. I want to get more on talking about specifically that first half because boy, oh boy, was that specifically the first half of the first half. They go and say there's a game. This was a game of 2 first halves because, oh my goodness, 𝙎𝙬𝙖𝙬. So first and foremost, obviously, Balogun within the first minute. I think this might be the earliest goal PSG have ever conceded in the Champions League. I think, unless there's something way back before when, I don't think we've conceded a goal in literally the first minute of play, 58 seconds in or something like that. Then we conceded in the 18th minute. And honestly, you can't even go and say, oh, they were lucky. They were deserved goals. They went through, they broke through our defense, and bam, they scored. And then after that, Vitinha gets a penalty, misses the penalty. I just want to go and look at the first half stats. In the first half, again, obviously PSG, 77% possession, 1.39 XG, 11 shots, 5 shots on target. But you look, 2 big chances created for them, 1 big chance created for us, and they had none missed. They were clinical. They did what they need to do. 3 shots on target, 2 goals. You can't really go and blame them for anything there. And then on top of that, Vitinha then also goes and misses a penalty. And I need to go and discuss this whole penalty gimmick. I don't know what it is. So PSG, I think, have won the last 5 of their penalty knockouts. Right? We beat Flamengo. We beat Spurs. We beat Liverpool. We beat who else did we beat? Lens. And I believe I'm missing one other one. Anywho. Point being, PSG in penalty shootouts at the very least have been really good. But then when it comes to penalties from the spot, this is, I believe, at the very least, I think either the 3rd of the season or the 3rd in the Champions League alone that we've missed. Vitinha's missed. Dembele's missed. Listen, I get that, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I thought, you give it to Dembele. Dembele is your main goal scorer. Okay, fine. He's not the greatest penalties. Fine. Not every goal scorer is great at penalties. Okay, Vitinha had a pretty good track record of taking penalties. Bam, we don't get that. At this point, I'm asking what should Nuno Mendes be taking our penalties? He's spotless thus far. I think potentially. I'm trying to find what is the possible reason why we've been so crap at taking penalties. I think is it the fact that we don't get them often? I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming these players practice them, during training and whatnot. And it is concerning because, listen, ultimately you go and see that we got the win. And listen, knock on wood at this point, because it's not that even, that's a guarantee. We go through. But I'm just saying, if this is a game against a Barcelona, a Real Madrid later on in the Champions League, round of 16, quarterfinal, semifinal, final potentially, and you get a penalty, like you need to bury it. You need to, and in this game, this is a penalty that you need to score. Fortunately enough, again, you'll go and say our blushes we saved our blushes a bit because ultimately we went on to go and win. But at that time, you're down 2-0. They've just scored their second goal. This is a moment, okay, you can come back, half the deficit, and you move forward. Luckily, again, we scored within, I think 11 minutes after their second goal up, so it wasn't catastrophic, but still, it's absolutely not good enough, and it is worrying. I think we need to have conversations, who exactly is our penalty taker, and we need to sort this thing out, and sort it out quick. You get for it, point blank simple. But after that, I think after that first half and second half, again, a lot of this I would go and say is me being, maybe you can say a bit overly pessimistic, but one thing I will say, 𝙀𝙬 came on, specifically in that second half, came on, 𝙀𝙬 had to come off once again, came off with an injury, didn't look all that good, did not look, he looked like he was playing through an injury, and it was his calf. I heard that he gotten injured in yesterday's sort of pre-game, warm-up, pre-game training and whatnot, and apparently he said he was good to go for today. Okay, fine. And just like in the Bayern game, within 25, 30 minutes, he's already come off. So hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's just, you take a break against Metz, which is a game we don't need Dembele in, and you play him again on Wednesday, I believe, for the return leg. And that's a game basically where he has to play. But I don't know. But what I will say though is that in him coming off, right, 𝙀𝙬, for this one, whatever. 𝙀𝙬 today, masterclass. What Liga we have to go and say, 𝙀𝙬 masterclass. Was involved in every single one of PSG's goals. Was simple today. I think at times he was a bit too flashy, did a bit too much. But honestly, this is the 𝙀𝙬 we like to go and see. Not doing too much, letting the ball go when he needs to let go, shooting when he needs to shoot it, not being too egotistical, and ultimately being clutch for us. The moment we need him to go and deliver for us, he goes and he does that. 2 goals in this game, created the second goal that 𝙀𝙖 scored. First goal comes in, ball by Barkel and goes, shoots hard, posts it in, bang, we have the deficit, we're back in the game. Second goal goes on, takes the man on, cuts inside, shoots it. Keeper makes a pretty good save, but parries it right in the path of 𝙀𝙖. Bang, 2-2, we're all square. We come back, good. I think it was a heel flick from, 𝙀𝙀 to 𝙀𝙪. 𝙀𝙪 plays it to Warren. Warren plays it to 𝙀𝙀. 𝙀𝙀 left-footed shot. 2 goals for 𝙀𝙀, 2 left-footed strikes, and then you can go and say a pseudo assist or heavily involved in the in the third goal. I think he had 3 shots. In fact, if I go in and look at his fault mob here, 𝙀𝙀 overall 9.2 performance, man of the match, was the player that was fouled the most. But today he was just efficient on 3 shots today, 2 goals, and that third shot was the one for 𝙀𝙀 where it was saved and the keeper went and scored. Honestly, nothing more to go and say from 𝙀𝙀. Excellent performance today. Definitely his best performance of the year. And this is the 𝙀𝙀 we want to go and see. And this is what we need to go. And I think, I would say in some aspects today, I don't think PSG overall was good. And even coming into that goal, I don't think PSG was playing all that well. And I would go and say that, being completely honest here, I think we were saved by the blushes of just 𝙀𝙀's individual brilliance today. If 𝙀𝙀's not at that level today, who knows what would have happened? Who knows what would have happened? But ultimately, hey, he was there. He delivered. He did what we needed to. He did what we needed him to go and do. And ultimately, we go through. But the performance today from the team, not good. I think overall, 5 out of 10. Going specifically and talking about some more specific performances, I thought Vitinha today at 7.8, I think is way, way, way too high. He missed the penalty. He did not look all that good. A lot of side-to-side passes. The press wasn't all there. I just think overall today, it was not a good performance from PSG. 𝙀𝙀 got an 8.6. Again, I think 𝙀𝙀 was actually pretty good. One of our better outfield players. I thought João Neves again today didn't do much. Lost quite a lot of balls. Wasn't really impactful in the duels as he'd normally be. Nuno Mendes was making some really silly mistakes. Again, today, again, he won the most duels with 8, but also lost the most duels. Not a great performance from Nuno Mendes, I go and say. Pacho, not brilliant today. I'm just thinking both goals, it's the defense. I think the first one, it's the second one, Pacho gets drawn out of position. The first one, it's Marquinhos who gets drawn out of position. But overall, I would just go and say it was not good enough from PSG getting drawn out as easily as we were, and ultimately giving Monaco freebies. Basically, okay, the second one was not a tap per se, but it was a big chance. And so I think the 2 goals that we conceded today are very much so products of our own creation, and we need to fix that up because it's simply not good enough. But apart from that, listen, I think what I'll go and say, ultimately, there's a second leg to be played. It's in Paris. We've got the lead up. I want to go and think that we cannot play worse than this, and that's a lot I'm rushing on. But guys, I'd like to know what you guys think of the game. What do you guys think went wrong with PSG today? Do you think that this team still has the capability of going on and winning the Champions League or not? Because I'll go and say it currently right now, I do not think if PSG play at this level, I would be lucky to get to the quarterfinals. I'll put it like that. But guys, that's me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look to see you guys next time. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.